Now let's get started. We are in your little booklet called Solving Radical Equations. We're going to finish this little booklet today. Now, listen real good. You're going to have a quiz the last half of the period tomorrow. What's it going to be on? What's in this booklet? What's in this booklet? So, if you need to request encore from me for tomorrow, you are welcome to get your phone out and do so. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to solve. Now, yesterday we solved equations that already had a square root or a cube root or something in them, right? Like that. Now, what we're going to look at today is what if they come at you like this? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So don't be bothered by the fact that you're going to have a fraction as your exponent. You know how to deal with that. Yeah, so let's just do a little bit of practice. This is not in your little notebook here. Little bit of review. 8 to the 2/3 power. It is the cube root of 8 squared. So if you want to, quiet, if you want to, you can rewrite it like this. What is the cube root of 8? 2, and 2 squared is 4. You can also, I told you this is not in here. You can also just look here and say the cube root of 8 is 2, and 2 to the 2nd power is 4, and not even write this part down. Okay? If you feel like I know how to do that in my head, that's fine. All right, let's try another one. What about something like 16 to the 3/4 power? What's your root? So, if you need to do this, it's the 4th root of 16, and then what do you do to that? What is the 4th root of 16? 2, and 2 cubed is 8. What about now? Does this one have an I in it, or is your answer negative? Because it's an odd root. Mm-hmm. Right. 100 to the, no. 100 to the 5/2 power. The square root of 100 is 10. So this is 10 to the 5th. It's not. It's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. It's a 1 with how many zeros? It's 100,000. 100,000. Now, I want to remind you of some things on your calculator. Now, notice I told you to get a graphing calculator today. So, now let's continue. I ask you to do a problem like, like 27 to the 2/3 power. Now, you know what does this tell you to do? Take the cube root of 27 and then do what to it? Then square it. Do you remember where to find cube root on your calculator? Where is it?
Math.
It's under math, right? So you go to math, option 4, 27, hit enter. Now, you want to raise that to the 2nd power, and just hit the squared button. Now, you don't have to type in 3 squared. All you have to do is hit the squared button, and this means A and S. That's the answer to the previous problem. So, there you go. Okay? What? I don't know how it would. I don't know how it would die, and I don't know. Yeah, don't ask me because I don't know. Um, what about 256 to the 3/4 power? Now, what's your root? 4. Now, if you go to the math screen, you will not see a fourth root. Look at option 5. Exactly. We're going to use option 5, but do you notice that it's just got a little x as the root? All that means is for any root more than the third root or cube root, put the number and then go get this button 5. So we're going to do the fourth root, so type in 4 and then go to option 4 of 256. What did I do? Well, snap, that's not what I meant to do. 4, math, option 5. What did I do? Oh, thank you. I did it right that time. And then, no, I don't cube it. What do I, oh yeah, I cube it. It's been a long day. Now, there you go. I used the caret thing to the third power. Could I just what? Okay. I'm going to quit. I'm going to clear. Okay. Could I just type in 27 to the 2/3 power? Yeah, I can. So if you type in your 27 and then use your little hat key, the little caret, and then you need to tell it, hey, I need to type in a fraction. You remember where that is? Alpha y equals. Here's the way I want you to do it. Option 1 means fraction. And then, was it 3/4? 3, arrow down, 4, arrow right to get out of it. Oh, I did 20. I was doing 27 to the 2/3. All right, Senate's having a lot of trouble today. How about we do 27 to the 2/3? Ah! 27 to the 2/3. Is that better? Finally did something right. Okay, now we've got enough background to go and finish this booklet. So let's get to your booklet. Okay, now remember you are writing in your booklet, okay? Now let's look at, are you all on the page where it says rewrite x to the 1/3 power as a radical? How do you write x to the 1/3 power as a radical? Cube root of x. Now what do I do with the 1? Because it means raising something to the first power. And what do you get when you raise something to the first power? The same thing you started with. Good. All right, so let's look in that box. It says remember a rational, somebody can't type either. Remember a rational exponent can always be written as a radical. So radical is what you need to put in that spot. If an equation has rational exponents, we will isolate that part and rewrite as a radical to solve. Now, on many of these, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. The way we started with today, and then the way Jacob asked me to show you. Let's look at A. 4x to the 2/3 power equals 36. Now, what is being raised to the 2/3 power? Just the x. The 4x is not in parentheses, just the x. So before we raise to any power or do any root, we got to get rid of that 4. Divide both sides. So I'm going to have x to the 2/3 power equals what? 9. All right. Now, Again, I'm going to show you two ways, all right? How do I rewrite x to the 2/3 power as a radical? The cube root of x squared, right? Now, just hold on. Just hold on. Remember, the bottom number is the root. The top number is the exponent. Now, how do I undo squaring something? I square root. So what if I square root both sides? Now, this is going to look ugly, but I promise it's not as bad as it looks. What do a square and a square root do to each other? So what am I left with on the left side? I'm left with the cube root of x. What isn't? Now, how do I get rid of a cube root? I cube it. So x equals, and Aiden said 27. Now we're going to check. Yeah, don't. Because we're going to get right back into that. Why? Because I told you so. Oh, in for the, yeah. So this is 4 times 27 to the 2/3 power. Does that equal 36? Well, I don't know if it does or not. What's the cube root of 27? 3, and 3 to the 2nd power. Does 4 times 9 equal 36? Check. So you go down here and you circle. That's not bad. Now, let's do the same problem another way. You don't have to write them both down. I just want you to see it. Snap equals, what was it, 36? Same first step. I need for that x to just be x, right? I need for it to be x to the first power. Now, here's the question. What could I multiply 2/3 by to get 1? Do you buy that 2/3 times 3/2 is 1? So, what if I raised both sides to the 3/2 power? Now, when you raise a power to a power, what do you do to the powers? You multiply them, and 2/3 times 3/2 is 1. So that is x equals the square root of 9, 3 to the 3rd power. I don't care which way you do it, as long as you check it. Will you decide which way is easy for you and do it? Okay. Next one. This is B. X plus 2 to the 3/4 minus 1 equals 7. Oh, I thought, did I write it down wrong again? Okay. X plus 2 to the 3/4 equals 8. Now, we have two ways to do it. We can rewrite it as, what's the root over here? So we could rewrite it as the 4th root of x plus 2 and cube that. How do we get rid of cubing something? Cube root it. And see, this is the step that looks funny. What do a cube and a cube root do to each other? Cancel. So what am I left with on the left side? The 4th root of x plus 2. It's all right. And what's the cube root of 8? Not, no, I'm taking a fourth root. How do I undo a fourth root? Raise it to the fourth power. All right, we're going to raise both sides to the fourth power. X plus 2 equals 2 to the fourth power, 16. So X equals, good. Let's talk through the check step. You're not going to talk through the check step. You're going to write the check step. We're going to talk through it. 14 plus 2 is 16. Is 16 to the 3/4 power equal to 8? What's the fourth root of 16? 2, and 2 to the third power is 8. Yeah, so we know it works. Do you want me to do it the other way? I'm sorry? I plugged 14 in right here. Do you want me to do it the other way, or do you just want me to do some problems one way and some problems the other way? What do you prefer, Eli? So, okay. So here's my question. Look, you've only seen, I don't care which way you do it. You've only seen one problem done both ways. Let's do this one the other way as well, and then you can start to see which one you think might be easier for you. You got to do this step either way you do. It doesn't matter. You got to do this step. What power would I raise this to the 4/3? So the left side's going to leave me with what? X plus 2. Now, what's the cube root of 8? 2, and 2 to the 4th power. Subtract 2 from both sides. This does have fewer steps. It does. It does. All right. See. X equals 4x minus 4 to the 1/2 power. Say again. What would you multiply 1/2 by to get 1? 2 over 1, which is just 2. So we would, what would we do to both sides? We square both sides, right? Because remember, 1/2 power really just means square root. And to undo a square root, you square. So this tells me that x squared equals what? 4x minus 4. Now, okay, now Joseph, this is where, right here, now we have an x squared. Now we're going to set this thing equal to 0. Now how am I going to set this thing equal to 0? Subtract 4x and add 4. Right. And if we subtract 4x and add 4, that's right. Going to factor it. Good. It's x minus 2 times x minus 2. So x equals, I just got one answer. That's right. I really got two answers. They just happen to be the same one. Check. Remember, I'm checking in the red. Does 2 equal 4 times 2 minus 4 to the 1/2? What's 4 times 2? 8 minus 4 is 4 to the 1/2, which is 2. Check. Yeah, just once. Yeah. D. Now we're getting into something you're probably going to want your calculator on. Negative 646 equals negative 3 times 65 minus x to the 3/2 plus 2. Now I would want my calculator. How am I going to solve this thing? First step, You can't, okay. Yo, as Coach K would say, yo. You never, ever distribute into something that's being raised to a power. Ever. What I got to do is I got to get this little pickle right here by itself. No. Subtract 2 I'm good with. And divide by -3. Go ahead. All right. If I subtract 2, I can do that in my head. That's -648. Divide by -3. Right. So what is it? 216? No, can't cube it. You all right, Joanna? I know. I know. All right. I can think of this as the square root of 65 minus x raised to the third power. Or I can think, all right, self, what would I raise each side to? What power? 2/3. So I'm going to raise each side to the 2/3 power. What am I left with on the right side? 65 minus x. Now, on your calculator, I mean, you can do this, but I want a different thing. What is the cube root of 216? 6. And what's 6 squared? 36. That's the way I want you to think through it. Because if you type in 216 raised to the 2/3 power, you get the answer, but you haven't thought through what it means, what you're doing. All right, fine, finish. What do we do? What do we do? Fine. Subtract 65 from both sides. What do you get? 36 minus 65. Positive or negative? And remember, you got to go back and check it. So please do not forget to do that. I'm talking on homework. Don't forget to do that. Does it matter what side? Nah. No, it doesn't matter. Questions so far? All right, go to the back, go to the last page of this. No, I told you, you do have to check it. I'm not going to take the time to do it on all of these, but you do have to check them. Now, let's look at these last 6. I don't really think I want to do all 6 of them with you because I want you to have some time. Now, here's what I want you to do. Giselle, I want you to pick one problem for us to do. Which one? G. All right. Jaden, pick one more problem for us to do. G and J. All right. G and J. They did. They chose their initials. That's very good. That's very good. Okay. 3x plus 28 to the 1/2 power equals x. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. All right. What are we going to do? Raise both sides to the 2nd power. Three x plus 28 equals x squared. Good. Now, which side do I want to move stuff to? Good, because no, it's a cuss word in math. You know that? IT, that word is a cuss word in math. Because you said because it's positive. What's it? X squared, right? X squared minus 3x minus 28. Yep. Yep. I love the factor. I love the factor. Minus 7 plus 4. X equals 7 or now we're going to check this one. We're going to check this one. 7. Love that. X equals 7. What does that mean? 3 times 7 plus 28 to the 1/2 power. Does that equal 7? Well, I don't know. What's 21, right? 21 plus 28 is 49. Oh, yep. Dun, dun, dun. Now let's try x equals -4. Just because it's negative doesn't mean it's not going to work. It might work. 3 times -4 plus 28 to the 1/2 power. Does that equal x, which is -4? That'd be -12 plus 28 is 16 to the 1/2. What is the square root of 4? I snap. What's the square root of 16? Okay, remember, we're not going to do plus or minus because it's already here. We're not only positive. Square root of 16, 4. This is not 4. What's your answer? So you go down here, x equals 7. J. Not unless you just have a burning need to do them. 45 minus 9x to the 1. We might come back and do them like on separate paper or something when we're studying for a quiz or something. I don't know. X minus 5. What do I do? I don't square root. 1/2 power is square root. I square both sides. What am I left with? Equals. Well done. Well done. Remember, that's x minus 5 times x minus 5, and you FOIL it. Okay, what side do I want to get everything on? Because don't cuss. X squared is positive already, so leave it there. Sometimes I really do feel sorry for people who listen to my videos because, it's the class, silliness and whatnot, and so I'm sorry if you're watching this video and you're like, what the crap is going on in that class? Okay, how are we going to move everything to the right side? Let's deal with the x's first. Add 9x, so we're going to get, good. It does. Help me out. Minus 5 plus 4. So x equals 5 or x equals -4. You indeed have to check. Okay, I'm going to erase this because I don't have enough room. Here we go. 45 minus 9 times 5 to the 1/2 equals 5 minus 5. Oh, because this is 45 minus 45. Check, right? Check. So x equals 5 works. Let's try x equal -4. 45 minus 9 times -4 to the 1/2 equals -4 minus 5. What's this give me? 45 plus 36, right? Equals -9, good. Because that's 81 to the 1/2 power. Square root of 81? 9, not negative 9? Nope. No, you cannot always assume it because sometimes it does work. So, answer? Ladies and gentlemen, you've done a good job with those. All right. Now remember, I'm going to give you your assignment. Look, you got half an hour. Um, please go ahead. Just a minute. Remember, we'll do a little studying tomorrow, and then you're going to have your quiz. And it will be off the stuff that's in this booklet.